It's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here, Mr. Politician. It's good to see you again.
From the hills of ZINARIYA here in the city of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. It is a beautiful morning here in the studio, and I believe it is the same with you wherever you are if you live around Jos and its environ. The weather is very, very cold this morning with about 23.5 degrees Celsius. If you can hear my voice this morning, then it means you're rightly tuned into the frequency meter of Unity 93.3 FM and TV. And of course, it is still that your most anticipated political and socio-economic program on the radio, the Unity Train. This morning, as usual, today is Wednesday, the 27th day of November 2024. The month is fast spent. We have just at most 3 days to the end of this month, and it will be December. This morning we are going to be looking into newspaper headlines as usual, and we will be giving you analysis as to certain contemporary issues that we have in the house. As usual, as we do it, you know, we do it in 3 segments, except that today is Wednesday, and the first segment is going to be the newspaper review, and the second segment, as usual, you know, on Wednesdays we do sports headlines. We give you sports news, which at the second segment we will come in with the Unity Train Sport Wave. That is going to be anchored by Mr. Aremu. As usual, we do it every day, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and of course Fridays, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Today is not going to be an exception. With me in the house today is no other person but that voice that you hear almost every day of the week here on Unity 93.3 FM. The voice of the barrister Paul Zaruma. He's here with me on the studio, and he will be saying good morning to you with a jiffy. But before he says so, when you want to call in, you will call in the number 07032353315, and to send in your text message, send it to 08163141141. On social media, we are on Facebook. You can get us on the Unity FM /TV Jos, and on YouTube we are on Unity FM TV Jos. Barrister, good morning to the studio. You're welcome to the studio this morning.
Thank you, Michael Pedro. Good morning. Good morning, viewers. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you are receiving these signals. It's my pleasure being here once again this beautiful morning.
You're welcome, sir. So, I will go straight into the newspaper headline this morning, and I will be starting with the metrics. The metrics has this to say. It says NLC knocks NBS on declining unemployment rate, says figures fabricated. I spoke yesterday about this when I heard that the unemployment rate has reduced 4-point-something%. I told myself, in the studio here, you could hear me say I don't agree with the statistics, because I cannot tell of any investor or new companies that have come in, and I've not heard the federal government doing a massive kind of employment in recent time. But here again, the NLC is saying it's a lie. So this is an agreement with what I said yesterday. In continuation, it says Biden confirms Israel-Hezbollah ceasefire deal, says Israel retains right to self-defense consistent with international law. Alleged 110 billion fraud bail due in court today as EFCC ex-governor Bika. At last, Port Harcourt refinery comes to life. Focus on achievement, shown malicious attack, and NPCL tells Nigerians. Excited Tinubu tax and NPCL on reactivation of other refineries. Cheaper petrol looms due to competition between Dangote PH refinery. Tinubu heads to France for state visit to deepen bilateral ties. CBN raised interest rates to 27.50% to curb inflation, Cardoso reveals. Senate admits error in resolution in CCT chairs removal. That was from the metrics. The first news has this to say: full self-sufficiency affordability in sight as Port Harcourt refinery powers up. Tinubu hails refinery revival, directs reactivations of orders. All marketers welcome reopening, awaits fuel pricing adjustment. Police launch all-out war against FCT's one-chance criminal gangs. FG vows to eliminate malaria amid 1.1 billion annual loss. That was the first news. And the Guardian has this to say: cautious optimism over cheaper fuel as PH refinery creates rivalry. The leadership says, like father, President Itno takes battle to Lake Chad. All right, that's an international news. The Tribune has this to say: CBN raises interest rates to 25.50%. Now you see a disparity. The other one says 27%, and Tribune is saying 50%. But with PH refinery revival, Tinubu sets worry Kaduna plant target for NMPC. That is this morning on the... Okay, let me take this from the Vanguard. Local fuel capacity now 860,000 barrel per day as PH refinery rebounds. Prices of local price beans, bread, eggs soar in October. NBS, that's National Bureau for Statistics. GDP, jobs growth at variance with reality. NECA. Let's join hands to make Nigeria a producing nation. Tinubu. All right, that is on the newspaper this morning. Notably, a lot of the newspapers are talking about the revival of the PH refinery.
Yeah, actually, I think we have to start from that point. It's a good news. And then I give credit to particularly President Tinubu for actually reviving that refinery. You know, this is a very laudable development. The president did fantastically well by reviving that refinery, and we also give kudos to Alhaji Aliko Dangote, because Alhaji Aliko Dangote has disgraced those forces that are frustrating the revamping of our refineries. They have been making it seem as if it is mission impossible, but with the coming of a private person that came in from that industry to tell them, yes, if a private person can do it, you know, and then again with the drama that played out between NNPCL and Dangote, clearly shows that NNPCL are very, very ridiculous. And then that really exposed them. So that was why they discovered that if they continue hanging around Dangote, they cannot sustain it over time. These are just short time, or if you like, ad hoc measures to frustrate Dangote, but such kind of things are not sustainable. So they had to go back home and fix their own refinery. And that will bring a viable competition in the market. And you know, our market is, our economy is a petrochemical driven economy. So once these issues are sorted out, prices of commodity like fuel, it goes down, so many other activity will begin to kick up in the economy, which is a very good development. So we salute the president for doing that. For the 8 years of President Buhari, he couldn't revamp that refinery after releasing a lot of trillions of naira to revamp that refinery. So Tinubu, just within 1 year, he has done that. It is a very good development. And that refinery also failed to function during the PDP reign in all these years that they have been in power. Actually, as at 1999, when Obasanjo became president, that refinery was functional. So that it was during PDP regime that refinery went moribund, which is very unfortunate. Not only that refinery, a lot of companies in Nigeria went moribund during PDP regime, and some of the companies were even sold. You know, I did my NYC with Delta Steel Company, you know, in Delta State. It is a massive company. They produce 24 hours. Yes, and even at that, they are not meeting up with demand because their iron steel is very, very strong. So they even have both local and international demand. A Nigerian company. It was a public
and it's no longer in existence now.
I don't know what is happening with the company, but you know, at the time I was doing my NYSC in Delta State, even with the production, 24 hours production, you have to book 3 months, 2 months ahead. If not, you have to queue, because people are booking and making reservations for the product of Delta Steel Company Limited. Unfortunately, it was sold to Obasanjo's friend Mittel during the PDP era. So you see, these politicians bringing in issue of party and whatever, it was because Nigerians got fed up with the activities of PDP. That was why they voted for APC. You understand that kind of thing. So our politicians, they are basically the same. And when you look at it, you see the same people going to PDP, the same people moving to APC, and so on and so forth. So that is why that brings us to the issue of politics of ideology that we say is lacking in Nigeria.
Yes.
So but be that as it may, kudos to President Tinubu, because it is one of the APC promises they made even before they clenched power in 2015. And throughout the 8 years of Buhari, they couldn't do that. Even the promises is that they will fix the refinery within 6 months, move to Kaduna, fix Kaduna within 6 months, move. That's how they say they will fix all the refineries. And you know, for within 1 year, he has done that in Warri. Once other refineries are also fixed, I think the prices of tin will naturally begin to go down.
But do you think, Barrister, that reviving this refinery is going to bring about succor when it comes to the price of petrol in Nigeria? This is the reason why I'm saying so. You know, at some point in time, we spoke about this very issue here in the studio, where we had a conversation around the reason why Dangote's fuel, international marketers were having, that is IPMAN,
yes,
International Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, were having issues, especially concerning the pricing of Dangote, saying that the Dangote fuel, the fuel is more expensive than the imported one. So now my concern is the reviving of this very Port Harcourt refinery. Do you think it is going to bring about a reduction in price, considering the fact that we saw it clearly that it is a deliberate effort to make this price so high to the level where it is now?
You see, in most cases, if now when you have absence of competition in a business, that brings about business monopoly.
True.
So even for Dangote refinery to be the only private refinery in Nigeria that is producing this massively as it is now, it's also not healthy for the economy. So to me, there are a lot of indices and factors that is making those importers to complain. Basically, one of the basic reasons is the interference of NNPCL. NNPCL, number one, they said they will control the price that Dangote will sell his product. It's laughable. It's you know, assuming they will control it in favor of Nigerians. That would have been a very
different thing, yeah.
Yes, because we have we have price control agencies in Nigeria, but are they functioning? No. Look at what is happening in the market. You will go to buy something, somebody will just pick his call and dial and call another person who is not even there.
Yeah,
and then the person will tell him, sell it at this. And in some cases, there is even a conspiracy between them and the person he is calling. True. Just to use it as a market gimmicks or strategy to exploit innocent Nigerians. We don't. Our price control agency, they are not really functioning. I think maybe we only hear of that of the NNPCL, you know, because of some of the benefits they are getting there. So it is quite unfortunate that, like, what is happening now over there is that the NNPCL wanted to suffocate Dangote. Even from the beginning, they started playing out the drama, frustrating one or two things. And now that you know, that Dangote argue on his own part through his spokesperson that they want to maintain quality. And those who have moved out of the country, they argue that Nigeria's petrol is not quality, is not a quality product. Because they say that once you just fuel your vehicle and you drive from a short distance, you begin to, it goes, it burns, you know, it's just vanished. But someone said that when he was in US, that, you know, he knows how, when he had a full tank, how long it stays. And he covers more further distance than what he drives in Nigeria. when I read that article, I was worried. You know, it was a disturbing article. So Dangote saying he's not going to compromise standard, number one. And you know, that is the importance of competition.
Of course.
If I feel I want to go with standard, I can go with Dangote, for instance.
Very well.
If I feel I don't want to compromise, maybe I don't have enough money, I can go with the other one. And then, you know, when there is competition in the market, it gives people a lot of options and it opens the economy. So as long as we are concerned, we celebrate the NNPCL for starting this new refinery, because it's going to create a public-private competition. So we are going to see. And then again, there is another third party in the background, the importers that you just mentioned. They are also going to be importing a product, and then they will also bring in their own form of competition. And then no matter what, whichever explanation you will give, it is my humble opinion that I don't subscribe to the fact that an imported product should be more cheaper than a locally refined product. And that also drives us to the point of how much are they selling the crude oil to Dangote? And how much are they selling the crude oil to those exporters? Because there was a time Dangote was, Nigerians were agitating that Dangote must buy his product in dollar. The crude oil in dollar. Sorry, in naira.
In naira, yes,
You know, and then NNPC were insisting that he must buy in dollar. And we said that now who are they accusing of dollarizing the economy? Now it means it is the same public servants, or if you like, the government that are dollarizing the economy. Because this crude is Nigerian's crude, and you want to sell it to a local company in Nigeria, you are insisting that he must subscribe to it in foreign currency, which is very unfortunate. So these are some of the politics.
You're struggling, saying that the naira is falling to the dollar.
Yes,
we're the ones actually causing
we are the one causing it. So you can see that, you know, all this fight that they will go to breed with change owners, harassing them with EFCC, you know, embarrassing them with police. These are all cosmetic fights.
You know,
the actual fight is, let us be honest in this country. Let us be sincere. You cannot sell a crude oil locally refined from Nigeria to a local Nigerian country, a company owned by a Nigerian, with a foreign currency. You are guilty of dollarizing the economy.
Of course. So
allow this bureau to change people and other people and start from within. I keep on saying that once those people that are holding public office realizes that public office goes with public responsibility and they start with themselves, then they will have the moral impetus to begin to address other issues. So these are some of the things that are happening in that place. So it is a good development for our economy. It is a good development for the country. At least we have a third party competitor. The importers will import. And it may interest you to know, Pedro, that there is high demand for Dangote product from foreign countries.
Of course,
so Dangote is even exporting his product.
Yes.
So what is happening when other countries are demanding for his product and we are here fighting him? You know, you will know that there are a lot of dynamics, a lot of politics, and dishonesty that is playing within the cycle. You know, but be that as it may, the coming days will unfold so many things, and I believe that whether Dangote has come to expose the shenanigans going on in the petrochemical industry as long as Nigeria is concerned.
Actually, just to comment on something you said about dollarizing the economy. You know, there's this sector that we cannot put, relegate to the back seat currently as far as Nigeria's economy is concerned. But then the issue of the dollarizing the economy, the government took a certain decision that has affected that very sector drastically, and that sector is a youth-driven sector. A sector, I mean the cryptocurrency.
Yes.
You remember some time ago, Binance were banned from trading dollar, and that has affected a lot of youth in Nigeria. I wish the government are going to look into this and then allow the youth actually trade crypto, because that is a sector that has given rise to independence when it comes to the youth, especially here in Nigeria. Sir, I have an interest, something I would want you to talk about. Last week we spoke about the ACF and then the suspension of its chairman. There seems to be a lot of drama around that very decision by the ACF.
We have been following that story. There are a lot of updates in that area. You know, the Arewa Consultative Forum, which is the Apex Northern Sociocultural Group, has suspended its chairman, Mamman Osman SAN, if you like, son, for declaring that he criticized Tinubu's regime. He stated that Nigerians are suffering, and then he also stated that if that should be the case, come 2027, the ACF are not going to support a non-northern candidate. So, in a swift reaction, and then it may also interest you to know, Mike Pedro, that in 2023 the ACF supported the candidacy of Tinubu Shatima.
Yeah, true.
Yes, so
very true.
And then also they also push for power to move to south, so that there will be
a kind of balance.
Yes, a kind of balance, and then they also believe that there should be a kind of unity in the country, because one of the things that we are battling with in our political climate is managing our diversity. Sure. So be that as it may, the Arewa Consultative Forum chairman made that statement, and in a swift reaction, the Board of Trustees and the NEC came up to suspend him. And then the explanation the Board of Trustees gave is that they were not involved in that decision. It is a sensitive decision. The statement made generally, he didn't carry the neck and the Board of Trustees. And that also brings us to the point of leadership responsibility. You know, if truly that was what happened, because there are a lot of intrigues and dynamics to what is happening in ACF presently. But as it is, he has been on suspension, and apart from being suspended, a committee has been set up to investigate him. Now, he is presently under investigation. Unfortunately, it wasn't clear if that committee was given an ultimatum, a time frame within which to work with. But be that as it may, they are still working. And then other socio-political groups from different parts of southern Nigeria also come up to say, no. Arewa Consultative Forum didn't criticize Buhari during his tenure. Why are they now criticizing Tinubu? That approach is a divisive approach. In a quick reaction also, the Arewa Consultative Forum has come up to say, no, it's not true. They have come up, they dug a lot of facts to state that, during Buhari's regime, they actually criticized his regime. So they countered that position has been stated. Now, what happened just this week again, Arewa Youth Assembly came up to say that if the chairman is not returned within 7 days, they are giving the Arewa Consultative Forum 7 days ultimatum to return the chairman to his office. If not, they will go and occupy the National Secretariat of the ACF until the chairman is reinstated. Now, you can see the politics that is playing out there. It is clear that as long as the Arewa youth are concerned, the President Tinubu's policy did not favor the Arewa, and as long as they are concerned, what the Arewa Youth Consultative Chairman stated was right. As long as they are concerned, by their press release, the chairman of Arewa Consultative Forum doesn't need to wait for a NEC meeting or endorsement of BOT for him to make such declaration. So as long as they are concerned, what he did is right. You know, that also brings us to the constitution of the Arewa Consultative Forum. You know, can you speak, can you render a private opinion and make it as if it is an opinion of an organization? I think if truly the chairman did not consult with the BOT before making that statement, I think that was a very wrong one, because it is an organization. It is not a private enterprise. It is not a sole proprietorship. It is of course an organization. They have a structure. They have a board of trustees. They also have a National Executive Council. They have other components of that make up the Arewa Consultative Forum. I think a responsible responsible chairman should ordinarily make sure that he consulted with those organs of the organization before making such sensitive statement. Because if perhaps, as at the time the Arewa Consultative Forum were agitating that rotation should be maintained, it was a NEC decision or a BOT involved decision, then at least if there is a shift in paradigm, if there is a paradigm shift, the BOT and the NEC should also be involved. So you can see that is the drama that is playing out in the Arewa Consultative Forum. But you know, even if the Arewa Consultative Forum criticized Buhari's regime, frankly, they weren't as sharp as they are with Tinubu's regime. Because I remember in the early days of Buhari's regime, they were saying that things has gone deplorable, that Nigerians should bear with Buhari. And Nigerians kept on bearing with Buhari up to the extent that he rounded up his tenure. I think if they could tolerate Buhari to that extent, they should also consider Tinubu too. Well, so even though, frankly, Michael Pedro, when you talk about security, the Arewa is better off comparable to Buhari's regime. I am telling you, even in Katsina during Buhari's regime, it was. I have the figures. I would
want us to take a comparative analysis of the past administration as compared to the Tinubu's led administration. When we come back from this very short break, because there's a lot to talk about, especially as it concerns this very decision by the chairman of the ACF. We'll be going on this very short break, and when we come back, we'll be having an in-depth conversation as regards this very issue that we have on ground. Please stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune into Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Pay attention, it starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It a kill love, it a kill dreams. It a land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was saying things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Mr. Politician.
All right, thank you so much. It's a beautiful morning to talk sport again in the city of Jos. And of course, welcome to Sports Wave on Unity Train. It's the Wednesday edition where we give you everything happening in the world of sport. This wonderful morning, it promises to be an exciting show this morning, as of course, we have a lot of interesting issues to talk about. My name is Oluwafemi Aremu. A beautiful morning to you once again, and welcome to Sports Wave on Unity Train. This is the segment where we give you everything happening in the world of sports. And of course, this morning I have with me Quadri Labaika. Of course, Quadri, a beautiful morning to you and welcome to Sports Wave on Unity Train this wonderful morning.
Good morning, Femi. Good morning to our esteemed listeners out there. It's another beautiful day, to take the fans around this super exciting world of sport.
Of course, you were saying something before we come live on air about Pep Guardiola. Yesterday, what happened? I mean, Manchester City in the UEFA Champions League from 3 goals victory. And of course, they lost out that game. They blew it off to Finai. It all ended 3-3. And Pep Guardiola, of course, this is not the best of time for him over there in Manchester City. Quickly, your take. Manchester City, what is happening with Pep Guardiola before we talk everything we have on the menu this morning?
I mean, it's so surprising that we are seeing this side of Pep Guardiola. Over the year in, year out, he has shown out a beautiful performance. I think we have never, had it bad with him like this. But it's surprising that we are seeing the other side of him. And it was surprising yesterday that after 3 goals lead and at the end of the day, towards the end of the match, they bottled the 3-goal lead. That's on characteristics of Manchester City. And for me, I think what I will say is the problem is there's what they call law of diminishing return. The concept is an economic concept. I remember back then in secondary school, they say sometimes when it's like adding more sugar. When you add sugar, the first this thing, let's say you have a cup of tea and you add sugar. If you add more and more, it will get to a time where, it will not taste sweet again. It will start giving you bitter and sweet. So I think in respect of Pep Guardiola, that's what we are seeing with him. Law of diminishing return is certainly with him. Yes, with coaches, when you have when you spend time in a club, you gain experience. When you sign more players too, you have more, depth squad. But it will get to a time where there will be decline. And for me, I think the decision to stay back in Manchester City,
I think it's not a good idea.
I think it was not well thought out. If you look at him, he's always very pragmatic with this kind of decision. Even when he had the best of time, when he was in Barcelona, he bowed out when the ovation was high.
True.
He didn't allow things go south before he bowed out. But in Manchester City, I'm surprised that after how many years? Close to 5 years? Yes. He still, extended the contract. For me, I think he ought to have bowed out when the ovation was high, instead of allowing this to happen. What we are seeing now is, we saw him yesterday hurting himself. There was, bruises all over his bowed head. And that is not good for someone that has, given us beautiful football over the year. I think it's high time for him to just, realize that. But one thing is, Pep Guardiola is Pep Guardiola. And sometimes, they say, slow crawling of a lion is not out of fear. So we should not rule him out. He can still bounce back.
All right, Pep Guardiola can still back. Definitely with this Manchester City squad, we expect him to bounce back. But a lot of people have said there's fatigue in the team. Also, Rodri being out has been a major
I don't believe Rodri being out. As just one player.
Well, I think Rodri
is an integral part of this.
When you also look at it, Kovacic, I think that is another player that is out also. Since Rodri has been absent, Kovacic has been filling in a bit well for Rodri. But in the last two games,
complement of their squad. So I don't believe those two players missing out there. Kelvin De Bruyne is back.
Just a simple example. Look at Arsenal. Arsenal without Martin Odegaard, they were playing terribly. But with the return of Martin Odegaard, Arsenal are beautiful.
But if you look at the squad depth of Manchester City and you compare it to Arsenal, they have more in terms of squad depth. They are better. They have more better replacement.
Well, I think that should be about 2 seasons ago. When you look at it currently, I think Arsenal have a better squad depth than that of Manchester City.
That's topic for another day.
Okay, yes. Well, dear listener, just so you know, we're also streaming live on Facebook, Unity Radio, FM, TV, just so you can head over to that social media and do it to follow us and of course stream us live over here in the studio. But quickly, a lot on the menu this morning. Just like I said earlier, we have MPFL midweek fixtures to watch out for today in particular. We have some fixtures to watch out for, and also we will look at the UEFA Champions League fixtures, the results of yesterday, and fixtures we should be expecting today, and UEFA Europa League fixtures we should be expecting tomorrow. A lot of interesting one there to talk about. Also, Robert Lewandowski, who have joined the likes of Messi and of course Ronaldo in the UEFA Champions League history. Yes, quickly starting from the MPFL midweek fixtures we have today. We have Abia Warriors taking on Castina United by 4 o'clock today. Also, we'll see Bayelsa United versus Niger Tornadoes by 4 o'clock. Nasarawa United will take on Bende Insurance by 4 o'clock also. And Akwai United will play host to PLATEAU United by 4 o'clock today. While Ikorodu City will play host to Economy Warriors by 4 o'clock also. And Kwara United to trade tackles with Heartland of Owerri, while Enugu Rangers will take on Lobby Stars and Sunshine Stars versus Rivers United. And of course, the game between Kano Pillars and Enyimba has been postponed due to Enyimba participation the CAF Confederations tournament. Also, Remo Stars will take on Shooting Stars. Big one there to watch out for. Of course, it's a derby. Quickly, Quadri, before we talk about the Remo Stars versus Shooting Stars, PLATEAU United will take on Aqua United, a big one to watch out for. Definitely, you look at PLATEAU United last game at home against National United. That one ended 2-0 in favor of the Peace Boys, and of course, they'll be going away from home to ensure that they secure maximum points. Of course, that win have skyrocketed them to 14th position. Talking about PLATEAU United with 15 points, which is really terrible if you ask me. But Aqua United are seated currently on 18th on the log with 12 points, just 3 points separating them. A win for Aqua United will shoot them up to where PLATEAU United is currently, and PLATEAU United will go back to probably the relegation zone. Yes, for PLATEAU United, last season they lost at home to Aqua United, where Suleiman Sani run the show via the New Just Stadium. Last season, I think PLATEAU United failed to get a maximum point against them. This season, Aqua United also have been struggling the way they did last season. Do you think United, with the way they are playing currently, have everything it takes to go away from home to beat, or rather to defeat this a certain Aqua United side who are also struggling this season?
Well, I think it's a very good time to play Aqua United. For any team in MPFL right now, it's a very good time to play Aqua United. They are not in their best at all. They have been struggling since the beginning of the season. I think in their last 3 games now, they have not picked a maximum point. They've dropped point at home, week in, week out. I think for PLATEAU United, it's time for them to. It's a good time for them to pay back. We saw what happened last season when they came to Jos. The guy, I forgot his name, Suleiman Sani. Run the show. He was all over, but it's not all over there. They've lost. Most of their key players, and now I think the recruitment they did was not convincing enough, and now that's why they are just struggling. PLATEAU United now, after the issue MPFL board, the sanction, and all. I think it's high time. It's a very good time for them to get back their groove and start getting those, accruing those points for them to climb up the table. Going up against Akwai today, I'm giving them a very good chance of at least picking a point
away from home. All right, definitely the game is by 4 o'clock. We watch out for that. And also the big one has to be between Remo Stars and Shooting Stars. Of course, a big one to watch out for between both sides. Shooting Stars currently 9th on the points with 9th on the log with 18 points, while Remo Stars they dropped points last weekend, and of course they'll be taking on Shooting Stars. They are currently 2nd on the log with 23 points, and Rivers United are top of the log with 25 points. For Remo Stars, they'll be home against Shooting Stars. It's going to be a big one to watch out for over there in Ikene. Do you think Shooting Stars will pull a threat for this certain Remo Stars who are really impressive so far this season?
Well, Shooting Star, Remo Star, anytime, any day is always a war down in the West. I think it's another mouth-watering class.
Two great coach, Daniel Ogumodede
and the veteran. I remember Ogumodede was one time assistant to Ogumbote when he was in Remo Star. So it's like the boss and the apprentice. So it's going to be a very tough one. But looking at the current form of Remo Star, in the last 2 games down, they've only picked 1 point. But now they have their coach back after the national team assignment. But today, you look at the Shooting Stars, they have been struggling in front of goals. Even at home, they're just narrowly, winning their matches against Bayelsa United. Bayelsa United is one of the struggling team in the MPFL now, but they were only able to get 1 point against them. So now they will be. But one thing about derby is that it comes with different vibe entirely.
True.
I know there is a lot of stake, a lot of bragging rights, and all. And Ibadan fans, they are always very, very, very loud. They want to band. They want their team to go to Kenya and get a very good point. But today, I don't know. Something tells me we will see a draw.
A draw. All right.
Definitely,
we are going to watch out for that. But leaving there quickly, talking about the military games currently going on in Abuja. Team Nigeria have extended lead on medal tables. Of course, in that game, Team Nigeria has continued to hold on to the lead on the medals table at the ongoing Africa Military Games in 2024. Team Nigeria has continued to excel at the ongoing 2nd Africa Military Games in Abuja, emerging as the standout team force in taekwondo, wrestling, and shooting. Before the end of proceeding on Tuesday, which is yesterday, Nigeria has a massive haul of 121 medals, including 60 gold. We have 34 silver and of course 27 bronze medal. They are followed by Algeria, who are 2nd on the log with 53 points, 53 medals rather, and Libya 3rd with just 13 medals, which is really incredible. We have something to say about that, Quadri, because let me ask you a question. If we tend to perform really well in tournaments like this, talking about these African military games, also African games, when we come to that game, we also perform well. Why is it really difficult to perform at the higher level, talking about the world stage, that is the Olympics level? Why is it really difficult? Is it because these players are not used, these athletes they use different athletes from the home-based athlete?
Well, what I would say is the reason is because our developmental program are not well mapped out. What we do is we tend to change athletes. At any given time when we have tournament, we just start running eta and skater to look for athletes. There is no continuity. If we can have a well mapped out program where you have your pool of talent that you take to different tournaments and you monitor their progress, instead of having one athlete for this tournament, then in the next tournament you bring another entire new face entirely. So if you are doing that, there will be no consistency, and the athlete will not improve. So that's area I believe NLC must look at. If we can look at that area, we have database of our athletes. We have the new one coming for different categories. and we are able to, continue, there's continuity, I believe we will be turning out performance. But you are saying, yeah, when we talk about the Olympics and other world tournaments, the stakes are high.
True.
Okay, we are facing the best of the best from different countries across the world. But I believe we are not sort of talent to compete. It's just
because when you look at the likes of Kenya, the likes of Uganda, South Africa, they are also doing well.
And another thing is we must concentrate on area of comparative advantage. There are areas that we are good. If you look at sprints now,
yes,
if we concentrate on our sprint very well and we sponsor our players, our athletes, we give them an enabling environment for them to develop, I believe in no time we'll start competing globally. But what we have over the years is, we keep changing that every time. So we need to really look at that. Look at how we can have a program, a development program that will make sure we are on net right talent and then nurture them to get to the highest level.
All right. Quickly, moving over to Europe. Quickly, let's look at the UEFA Champions League. Yesterday, we saw some matches in Europe. Of course, that is the UEFA Champions League. It was a really exciting one yesterday between AC Milan, who were able to defeat their opponent by 3-2 in, of course, in the UEFA Champions League. They played a 3-2 win against Sloven Bratislava, and of course, Sparta Prague lost at home to Atletico de Madrid by 6-0. That was a really interesting result there for Diego Simeone boys. Also, Barcelona defeated Brest by 3-0. That one, they ended their unbeaten run. Of course, impressive game from Barcelona there. And Bayern Leverkusen also defeated RB Salzburg by 5-0. I mean, it was a lot of goals yesterday with the UEFA Champions League. While also Bayern Munich versus PSG, that one ended 1-0 in favor of Bayern Munich. While Inter Milan defeated RB Leipzig by 1-0. Manchester City played out a 3-3 draw versus Finai. We talked about that earlier. And Sporting CP lost at home to Arsenal by 5-1.
That's why you are rocking Arsenal jersey today.
No. It's just, I mean, okay. Well, you get me there. Also, we saw Young Boys versus Atlanta 6-1 in favor of Atlanta. Anyone you want to talk about the Quadri that's talking about the fixtures we saw yesterday, the results of yesterday's games?
Certainly, I will talk about Arsenal. I have source spot for Arsenal, whether you like it or not. That was breathtaking performance yesterday. The way. Sporting Lisbon, they are not, especially this season.
Their last game, I think they won 6-0.
They have been very convincing. But Arsenal were able to, they just played them. They control the game. And I have to mention Bukayo Saka yesterday. He was all over the pitch. I think if we season in, season out, he's improving and telling us he's not that young Bukayo Saka we know. He's playing like a veteran. He was all over the pitch, and he had a few days yesterday. I think what Arsenal showed yesterday is when they have the full complement of the squad, they can be very devastating. They can be very devastating. So we must be wary of that. But one thing I believe is the missing link or the missing jigsaw for me. What will complement the whole squad is for them to just have a top line. If they can get the top 9, someone like Victor Osimhen, I'm telling you, Arsenal
or Victor Gyökeres.
I'm telling you, hair of
Sporting, yes.
If they can get him, I think Arsenal will compete for, not just compete. They will win a title. That's just it. They have been competing, so let me put it that they will win a title.
All right. Yes, just like you said, if they can have the full squad. I mean, what we saw yesterday was literally their best team, the best 11.
Beautiful football, the link up play, everything was
perfect, and it just tells you how this Martin Odegaard is really important to this Arsenal side. It's very, very important.
I would say it's the heart of Manchester.
Arsenal.
We saw him when he was out
on Odegaard. I said this Arsenal team is built on Odegaard.
It's built on Odegaard. It's obvious.
All right. Today, let's open the studio line. If you can take just a call or two call, we hear a contribution this morning. 070323533 1 and 5. When you call
call. You have just 30 seconds to make your input. 070323533 and 5 is the studio line to join the conversation. Yes, quickly today we have some interesting fixtures to watch out for. We will see Crevena versus Stuttgart. That one is going to be by 6:45, and also Strong Grass will take on Girona by 6:45 also, and AS Monaco will take on Benfica by 9 o'clock, while we will see Aston Villa taking on Juventus by 9 o'clock also, and Bologna will take on Lille, and Celtic versus Club Brugge. That one is also by 9 o'clock, and of course Dynamo Zagreb will take on Borussia Dortmund, while Liverpool will take on Real Madrid, a big one there, and PSV will take on Shakhtar Donetsk by 9 o'clock. Quickly, Quadri, Liverpool versus Real Madrid, a big one to watch out for today. That is going to be a replay of the UEFA Champions League final a few years ago.
Yes.
Of course, Madrid has always tend to come out victorious in this fixture, but with the recent form of Liverpool under Arne Slot, Mohamed Salah has been brilliant. I mean, that man cannot stop scoring. He's a very fantastic player. And of course, we have the likes of not forgetting Luis Diaz, not forgetting Szoboszlai, a lot of depth in that Liverpool squad. But for Real Madrid also, they've also been they've not lately. I think they've gotten their mojo back. And of course, if they can win their outstanding game in the La Liga, it's just a point between them and Barcelona with all the form that Barcelona has been this season. But against Liverpool tonight in Anfield, that's definitely going to be a huge atmosphere for Ancelotti and Vinicius Junior and the other Real Madrid guys. Who do you think will come out victorious in that game later today by 9 o'clock?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot, because you look at the form of both teams. They are playing very well, and you know, as a slot and as really, you know, fitting into the setup of Liverpool easily. It's as if he has been understudying a club, and he continued from where club stopped. So today's match is very, very difficult to predict, in the sense that you look at the form of Liverpool with Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah, I don't know, in his own relating to him, law of diminishing return is not settling, because what happens is when you start aging, your performance starts to decline when you start getting to 30, 32. But what we have with Mohamed Salah is like as if you know, as he's aging, he's getting better. So and we remember what happened the last time they faced in the final, the incident that happened. It's always time for him to pay back, to get the revenge. So that is always the grounds he has for them to be there, and I'm very sure he's going to play his out today. But you look at Real Madrid too. You look at that front three. You look at the whole squad. They are very, you know, they are in good form. Even Mbappe too is, you know, getting back his form. He scored last week. You know, look at, but it's like Vinicius Junior will be missing today because of injury. Okay. So that will be a very big setback for them. But with Liverpool playing at home, we will see a masterpiece of tactics between Ancelotti and Slot. But I don't know, something tells me Liverpool playing at home with the full support of their fans will take the day. They will not walk alone. They are in definitely. So they will not walk alone. All right. Giving them to take
Liverpool to take the day out of Real Madrid. All right. Also in the Europa League tomorrow, quickly let's look at some key fixtures. Definitely has to be between Manchester United versus Gilmit. That one is going to be by 9 o'clock tomorrow. Manchester United with their new boys. We talk about him during our show in our weekend bulletin show. I mean, he said he has been confident enough, and unfortunately was not able to get a victory against Ipswich Town. That's a big one for him. Do you think they'll be able to get the job done in the Europa League today? Quickly, tomorrow rather, just in 10 seconds, Manchester United and their new boss.
It will be good for him to get a maximum, not point, to win the match today. Because anything other than that, the English media will come for him. He has been in their good side. And you know, English media, they don't follow you forever. When things go south, you know, you start seeing them start, you know, coming to sort of plunge it and all. So he has to be very careful today, even for the morale of the player, even for himself, myself, psychologically, it will be good for him to get a win today.
Because Manchester, I think three games out of 3 is just 3 points for them, if I'm not mistaken.
So they have been abysmal. And just look at the caliber of team they are playing. It's not as if they are playing very tough teams. So we expect him to, he's familiar with this tournament. He has played when he was coaching Sporting. He had experience, coaching in Europa League. So I expect his team to, at least get a win today.
All right, in the UEFA Conference League is going to be Chelsea away from home tomorrow against HAJARKU FC of the German Bundesliga. Prediction for that game: Chelsea versus HAJARKU FC tomorrow.
Current form of Chelsea.
It should be a straight win. A straight win for Chelsea. All right. Thank you so much for coming through to the show this morning, Kodri Labaika. It's been a wonderful show. Big ups to you. And of course, big ups to everyone at the other side listening to us. I've been your host, Oluwafemi Aremu. This is where we draw the curtains of today's edition of Sportwave. Do well to stay tuned to Unity Train. And of course, it's going to be the next segment coming to you. I've been your wonderful host, Oluwafemi Aremu. And big ups to Kodri Labaika. Do have a wonderful day and stay out of trouble. Bye for now.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It kill law, it kill dreams. It land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was saying things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Unity TV. Unity. Unity TV.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking.
Back from that very short break, the last segment was a sports Unity Sports Wave, Unity Train Sport Wave, and that was anchored by Mr. Oluwafemi Aremu. That was a very beautiful analysis into the world of sports this morning. And before we went on that break, we were having a conversation as to certain issues, especially as it concerns the ACF. The barrister in the House had a lot to say about the ACF and the recent happenings, the battle between the ACF and the Arewa Youth Assembly in recent time, especially concerning the suspension of the ACF chairman because of a statement he made. I agree with you, barrister, this morning that the statement that the ACF chairman made was a statement that was all-inclusive, because he said we, the Arewa Youth at the forum, are not going to support Tinubu come 2027. If he had said he, as an individual, it would have been a different thing, but no. He carried everybody along without first consulting them. So it's more like an imposition as to making them take a decision that they have not really, truly digested. But then before we went on that break, I was saying we were going to take a comparative analysis between the past administration, especially as it concerns the Arewa Consultative Forum, as to whether they supported the past administration more than they are supporting this very administration. And you had something to say, sir.
Yes, I think one of the position of the youth, that Arewa Youth Assembly, is that as long as they are concerned, they don't want to play into the game of whether he consulted the BOT or he consulted the NEC before making statement on their behalf. You know, the question that the Arewa Youth are saying, what the chairman of ACF said, is it true? That is the position of the Arewa Youth.
That is a position in itself.
Are Nigerians really suffering? We all know that Nigerians are suffering.
Very true.
So as long as, just like you earlier pointed at the statistic that was given by recently, that GDP and whatever of Nigeria has improved. You know, there is this saying in HAUSA, very
true.
You cannot be bugging people with statistic and then nothing to show.
No impact.
People are hungry. You are telling them about statistic. Most state governors have not yet even implemented the minimum wage. You are telling us about statistic. Where did we get the statistic? Statistic is not rocket science. It's about factual issues. So Nigerians are indeed suffering. So as long as the Arewa Youth Assembly is concerned, that for the 24 years existence of the Arewa Consultative Forum, that they have not achieved anything for the Arewa. And if you look at it, the youths are saying the truth.
Very true. Very
so true. Now, on the issue of comparison, frankly, Buhari spent 8 years. Tinubu just spent 1 year. So if you are comparing them, you will not. It will not be fair.
Actually,
yes, it will not be fair. So it is maybe perhaps if Tinubu spent 4 years or even 8 years before you begin to compare. But the point I was making earlier is political will. Tinubu has demonstrated more political will to combat insecurity than Buhari.
True.
Let me just give you an instance. 2,599 persons have been killed from 654 attacks between 2017 and 2020. That was Buhari's regime.
Yeah.
Now, Nigeria was ranked third below Afghanistan and Iraq out of 138 countries in the Global Terrorism Index. These are facts that are there. And it's said to be the fourth most fragile in the world and the ninth in Africa, according to Fragile State Index. Now, unsurprisingly, in the same year, the country was also ranked as the 100th 148 out of 163 countries in the Global Peace Index. So it is far below war-ravaged countries like Syria alone, which is 52, Liberia 59, and Rwanda 79. That was during Buhari's regime. Just a time frame within 2027 to 2020. So Tinubu has not even spent up to 10 years. And then during Buhari's regime, you don't see the political will demonstrated against these bandits. Actually, rather you will see excuses given to them. This is why they attack. They are foreigners, and nothing was done deliberately. There was this docility during Buhari's regime. Very true, very true. In fact, at times some of the presidential spokesperson will speak as if they are justifying the attacks. There was this documentary that was done by BBC, which further exposes, because at a point in time the government were making us they were giving explanation as if people like Bello Turji were invisible, were metaphysical. But when that documentary came from BBC, that was what exposes, harasses and embarrasses the Buhari's government. So just like I earlier said, we are just highlighting political will. We are just emphasizing the political will. Now, just within 1 year of Tinubu's regime, the security forces has neutralized top bandit leaders, and I will highlight some of them. Kachala Ali Kawaji. Kachala Ali Kawaji was neutralized. He masterminded the adoption of the student from FUG in Gusau. He has been neutralized just within 1 year of Tinubu's regime. Now, Kachala Dambaleri has also been neutralized. Kachala Dogo Kwadi has been neutralized. Lawali Dodo has been neutralized. Kachala Naguru has been neutralized. Kachala Dambariki has been neutralized. Kachala Hanazua has been neutralized. Kachala Adamu, and the most recently, Kachala Buzu aka Sumubu has been neutralized. These are top bandit leaders that has been in the most wanted list. They were not enlisted in the most wanted list in Tinubu's regime. It was Buhari's regime that enlisted some of these top bandits. Very true. Yes. So, and you can see even this issue of Lakurawa. Look at how it was the government during the Buhari's era. Yes, it was created during Buhari's regime because reports, intelligence report revealed that they have been operated for the past 5 years. Now they have been underground. The issue has been undermined. Now it has come up, and look at this, the response from the security forces. Our security forces are doing fantastically well, and they will do better if the government do better. Actually. So we are not saying that the government has done perfect, or we are telling the government that if they do better, our military have the capacity, they have the capability, they have the wherewithal, they have the requisite training. Our security forces have everything you need. They can fight in any part of the world if there is political will. Sure. So we are calling upon President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to give them the requisite political will. It was during Buhari, NDA was attacked. True. So many military barracks were invaded. And then if you see the reaction among the people that were killed, time will not allow me to mention all the lists within this 1 year, was the mastermind of the train attack in Kaduna. But during Buhari's regime, he was made invincible. In fact, the effort was to even negotiate with him. So there was no political will. It is expected. And then you see what these bandits were doing. They will pour acid on vaginas of women during that regime, and nothing was done. Very unfortunate. It was, some of these things are unprintable, some of the atrocities this bandit did. But at least presently you could see that there is a demonstration of political will. Now, another area that this regime should focus on is the issue of this poverty issue. Let's forget about these statistics that they are giving. We want to see it on ground.
True.
Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians are hungry. And then we are also saying that the security should not go to sleep. We are also calling on the government to give the security all that they needed to sustain or even aggravate the momentum. So, but if you look at the issue of poverty, I am telling you, Mike Pedro, Nigerians are indeed going through serious difficulty. I agree with the Arewa youth. In fact, as long as Nigeria is concerned now, we don't want to know the region where the next president is coming from.
It doesn't
matter. We want a president that can come and salvage this country.
That is all that
If we keep on talking about regionalization, that is where the problem will keep on escalating.
Very true.
We will be having our own thief, our own criminal, our own this. And that is what has been dealing with this country.
The fact that he's our own doesn't stop him from being a thief.
If God will bring a president to Nigeria, irrespective of the region, that will come and salvage this country come 2027, I think it is a good development.
Actually, and you've said a lot about the current state of security, especially from a positive perspective, because the truth is, I, as a person, I was expecting this regime is going to do worse in terms of security, considering the fact that the bandits were given a certain ground to thrive during the Buhari era. Like, for example, we had a time where one of them was given employment into the customs, some of them into the military and all, and we thought that that is going to be a ground for them to actually thrive and then cause more havoc. But then, thank God for the current administration. Especially, I am going to give kudos to the Chief of Defense Staff, in the person of Musa Christopher, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, Musa Christopher has done fantastically well.
He's doing super fantastically.
We give kudos to him.
He's doing well.
And then late Lagbaja too.
Yes.
Given the requisite cooperation. I remember
the Chief of
he had to come and stamp his feet in Plateau State before the Mango
very well.
In fact, he was there physically. These are people that really demonstrated willingness, not innuendos. We are not talking about innuendos. We are not talking about propaganda. Yes, this we are talking about results. Let us see results.
And then about the poverty you spoke about, I am positive that in a short while, certain things are going to be under control, considering the capacity of the current Minister of Humanitarian and Poverty Eradication and all, in the person of Goshwe.
Nentawe Goshwe had just resumed in office. He's about settling, and it appears he is settling well.
Yes.
I've been following his activities in X handle, current former Twitter. His activities, he has started well. In fact, none of the humanitarian minister so far has laid the kind of foundation that Nentawe is presently laying. So Nentawe is laying a very fantastic foundation, which if he maintains, but Michael Pedro, I will tell you that the level of poverty in Nigeria, one ministry cannot solve it.
Actually,
it must be a holistic approach.
It is.
That's why we mentioned what brought us to this discussion is the issue we allowed this issue of Warri refinery to dominate the discussion because we know how significant the petrochemical sector is in Nigerian economy. And then, so one ministry cannot solve the issue of poverty as long as in Nigeria is the humanitarian ministry. I think is a palliative kind of ministry.
Yes.
Is to cushion the effect of the poverty.
It is.
But for us to address poverty, we must go out in retail and large scale, and it's going to touch all the ministries, it's going to touch all the ministers, and it's going to touch all the public policies.
Actually, one notable measure that must be taken is the control in terms of the price of petrol, because the movement of goods and services and even their production is determined by the price of petrol. It has a key role to play. But then, with all that being said, If you are still listening to us, if you can still hear our voice, then it means you're still rightly tuned into the frequency meter of Unity 93.3 FM and TV. And of course, it is still that your most anticipated political and socio-economic program on the radio. It is time for you to call in and give your input as to the current issues that we have on ground. The number to call is 07032353315. And if you want to send in your SMS, send it to 08163141141. I already have text messages coming in. This one says, good morning, Mr. Pedro and the barrister. Actually, our president and other state governors are beginning to reason and listen to the advice given to them. I like the speech of the president that says, let all join hands together to build the nation, because it's a collective responsibility, not individual. Please, barrister and professor, wake up. Thank you. Ismail from Jos. I have my first caller.
No,
good morning. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, I am Bashir Dankoli, calling from Jos.
Good morning, Bashir Dankoli.
Yes, Barrister Zaruma, fantastic analysis. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bashir.
We are impressed.
Thank you.
And again, I want to contribute about what is really going on. And the security agencies, they are fantastically doing well. We appreciate contact before. But now, presently, what we are talking about is these issues of politics. We cannot sit down to dictate for a civil support for this, and say that the single candidate will come out and say that one person will come out and say that come and vote for this, and I will come out and vote for this. We are learning from the foreign countries. Look at presently American politics that take up. Everybody come out, vote for his opinion. Now we are calling the politicians so that they are responsible to come and see what we are in next August. We have a lot of votes. They are coming out. We are running short of water. There are some places that we are calling the politicians to come and do things for us, right? And they cannot do it. And in terms of elections, someone will come out and say that, come out and vote for this man. We are not voting this on religion or based on credibility we need. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bashir Dankoli. Bashir Dankoli has been very vocal, especially as it concerns the issue of water supply in his area. I believe the appropriate authority are listening to his complaints on a daily. He calls in and he'll never forget to say this. It is time for the appropriate authority to pay attention to this very call. It's a clarion call. And I believe it's not just in his area. It's affecting almost every part of Plateau State. You hardly see tap water running in the tap. Places like Gadabu, Janta, Rukubaru, Tudunwada, some part of Tudunwada, and
Can you imagine in 21st century, in a country that is blessed like Nigeria, we are still talking about water.
Water, yes. I saw some
small children. These are basic things that would by now, the Nigerian government should have done the issue of water.
Of course,
we should be talking about some other more serious issue. There are countries that used to receive rain at least twice or 4 times.
But you never hear anybody complain.
Once this rain comes, they collect the rains, and then the issue of water is not an issue in some of those countries. And then we are still here in Nigeria talking about water. That we have some of the regions of Nigeria used to see rainwater throughout the year. And
if countries like Israel are not complaining of water, despite the fact that they are a desert, to an extent. What about Dubai? They are a desert, but then they don't complain about water. But here in Nigeria, we have water in abundance, but yet the supply is a problem.
So you can see that, for instance, now, if you are talking about Lamingo Dam, as at the time Lamingo Dam was constructed, what was the population of the people in Jos or in Plateau State at large? So
very few.
And very few. And when last was Lamingo Dam drenched? So you can see. The last time we spoke, that was Friday last week. We were talking about deliberate futuristic government policies. Some of these things, they may not. People may not see the result now, but they will see it in the future. Do we really have such policies? If you remember, I gave you instances when states like Gombe were having shortage of manpower in the health sector. They had to borrow manpower from other states. But today, they even have unemployed people from the medical line.
And here we have...
someone took a deliberate step. I gave you an instance of Konkoso last week, Friday, where there were shortages of manpower in the medical line, medical profession, particularly female doctors were shot in Kano. But Konkoso took deliberate step. And today, it has become history.
True.
So there are some steps that must be deliberate. And I told you about the future of places like Butex in Plateau State. Butex was supposed to address some technological issues in Plateau State, but is Butex still as viable as it has the brains behind Butex intended it to be?
Not at all.
These are deliberate government futuristic government policies.
And today we have a prediction, a certain prediction that says Nigeria is going to be about 300 million people come 2050, and already we're supposed to be making plans in that direction, but we're not doing anything.
In that direction, but nothing. Nothing.
It's very unfortunate. I have this text message that says, "Good morning, Mike, Pedro, and the barrister. If this is a step for President Tinubu to review Port Harcourt refinery, I say kudos. Let's hope that other sectors and agencies are also touched to portray the humongous borrowing they have been collecting. In any case, it is not yet over yet over as more is expected of this government to accomplish. Regards to Kulbi and the Prof. Emilongs from Agingi." That was from Emilongs. Thank you, Emilongs, for that beautiful text message. This one says, "Good morning, Mr. Pedro and Barrister Paul Zaruma. Nigeria can no longer trust the EFCC because I believe it will surely be a business as usual, and the major challenge of not getting our economy right is corruption and the lack of continuity in government. Please, the government should do the needful as Bola Ahmed Tinubu policies is gradually killing our small businesses. Peace is priceless. Let's continue to live in peace. May the labor of our heroes past not be in vain. God bless Nigeria." Adewumi from Bauchi Road. Thank you, Mr. Adewumi. God bless you for that beautiful text message. This one says, "Good morning, Michael, Pedro, and the barrister, and best wishes to PB and CB. Surely God will fully compensate you for your deeds. Anyone who awakes in the morning with no intention to do wrong, the message of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, 'Do you love paradise?' I said, 'Yes.' The Prophet said, 'Then love your brother what you love as you love yourself. Be kind.' Hassan Garba. Thank you, Hassan Garba, for that beautiful text message. Hassan Garba would always wake up in the morning and send me a text message.
I have also enjoyed that patronage also and love from Hassan Garba.
God bless you for all that you're doing, Hassan Garba. Good morning, Mr. P and the barrister in the house. The barrister have spoken well and did justice the issues being raised. I commend the FG on the commencement of lifting petroleum product at the Port Harcourt refinery. We have to also commend President Buhari. Even though the refinery did not start functioning during his regime, he was the one that gave the contract with cash backing. I'm appealing to the barrister to draw the attention of Plateau State Governor that nothing is going on in terms of construction in the state. They should not focus their attention on pursuing legitimate traders around markets as achievement. Time is going. Suleiman Science from Yusuf Street. Thank you, Suleiman Science, for that very beautiful text message. I believe the appropriate authority are listening and they are actually... But sir, do you think that from this last text message, just a minute, that this very policy of trying to shift these traders from certain positions in the terminus market is actually a wrong policy?
Immediately after the announcement of Executive Order 003/2024, I had a case in Damat in Yobe State with a very senior lawyer from the Yobe State Ministry of Justice, Sani Mohammed. You know, immediately we met with him. He shook my hand and then, you know, he said, "You Plateau people that used to allow people to sell clothes on the roads."
You see,
and it became like a negative hallmark.
Yeah, it is.
So it is a very fantastic.
You know, unfortunately, Nigerians are not seeing it from a positive perspective, but it is a beautiful policy.
It is a very beautiful politics. It's a wonderful one for that matter. And just like we said, when somebody is doing something nice, irrespective of where it's coming from or which direction, which is his political leaning or whatever, he is doing fantastically well. I also lend my voice with the last text message. Also, there is another part of this last text message that said there is no any serious construction work going in Plateau State.
I wanted to comment on that too.
So actually, if you look around, you will see that there is no any basic construction work seriously going on in Plateau State actually. Actually during the rainy season we were told that it was because of the rains. After rains we will see some activities, but until now we did not really see any activity. So we are calling on the government that zeal, that vigor that they started with, they should not allow it to die. We want a better Plateau, we want an improved Plateau, we want a developing Plateau. We don't want a stagnant Plateau.
Thank you so much, Barrister, for that beautiful input you just gave. Text messages are coming in and calls are coming in, but unfortunately we are out of time. We are going to be back here tomorrow, same time, same station, on Unity 93.3 FM. Please, as you go about your business this morning, put it behind your mind that you are only different if you do things differently, and bless somebody in the little way that you can. God bless you. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same station. Barrister.
Well, I wish our listeners a beautiful and fantastic midweek.
All right. See you tomorrow. God bless you.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion?